Something else I think we both really enjoyed. Uh, Fleabag season 2. Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I got it right this time. Um, plays Fleabag. Wrote, produced this show. It's been 3 years since the first season came out. Really highly regarded first season. Kind of flew under the radar because it's a British show. Came to Amazon, but um, I think not as many people were really aware of it. And then season 2 came out, and pretty much every TV critic out there or fan of TV that was aware of the show was like, "Hey, Fleabag season 2, can't wait, gotta watch it." Finally on Amazon, we were able to watch it. Season 2. Give me your thoughts on season 1, and then kind of how did you feel about season 2 comparatively?
Right. Yeah. Well, I think with season one, it immediately grabs you as, I mean, obviously it's a British show, but it's like a very unique British show. And obviously, what stands out the most is that Fleabag breaks the fourth wall pretty routinely,
Constantly.
directly looks in the camera, and there's these hammer lines, but the payoff, the punchlines are not what you expect. The first notable one is about anal sex, if I remember right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just this really funny shit. And you're like, all right, well, this is going to be like maybe like a dark comedy of sorts about this bad girl. We've seen this in Girls. We've seen this in lots of stuff. Right? Cool. That'll be good. Charismatic performer, good writer. But then you realize, oh, wait, there's actually a lot more going on in this show. And it's about, examining like the walls you put up in your relationships and whole mess of themes, really.
Yeah.
But it immediately grabs your attention for the how the storytelling is different. And season 2 manages to kind of up that ante in a awesome way, unexpected way. But I mean, see, the reason season 2 is so uh, on everyone's radar this time around is, since between 1 and 2, uh, Phoebe Waller-Bridge developed Killing Eve and did season 1 as a showrunner, was a voice in Solo, and is now one of the co-writers on Bond 25. Kind of a big fucking deal.
She's obviously a rising voice in creative fields, TV fields, movie fields. Season 1 for me, what I think, you hit on many of the great points. I think what also stood out was just how endearing and how realistic she's able to make almost every character in the show in different ways. I mean, I think the only character I really absolutely despise in season 1 is Claire's husband. Who's just, he's the worst. Yeah, you're supposed to dislike him. Even Olivia Colman's godmother, who I think can be detestable in a lot of times in the show, I think is a more fleshed out character than you see in a lot of shows. And there's not really a lot of wasted space. Like, these are 22, 24-minute episodes, and she's doing a lot to really build out this world and make all these characters feel realized. And I think she actually continues that into season 2 in a really wonderful way. Andrew Scott, who plays the priest in season 2, is just a wonderful addition, a clear standout. Him and Waller-Bridge have amazing chemistry on screen together. And even though he gets a lot of time in season 2, he never feels like he's there too much. I'm actually really interested to learn more about him. He feels like a real person in a lot of ways too. I think that's probably the part about the show I like the most. Even a character like Claire, who is very like flat and cold a lot of the time and takes herself very seriously. I found myself loving and hating her with Fleabag throughout the show, and like my emotions towards Claire were up and down. I think that's just a testament to how well written and developed this idea is.
Yeah, for sure. And it's actually kind of funny. This like Olivia Colman's character is just the godmother, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge is just Fleabag. Like, there's no name there, right? And like in season 2, we just have the priest, and
the
lawyer guy is literally called hot misogynist, like on the call sheet.
Yep. And the loan officer is just loan officer,
and I think what that communicates, it continues with the storytelling, is everything is through the lens of how Fleabag perceives everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that also includes, obviously, the camera. Like, we're supposed to be like there watching it. And season 2, having the priest see when Fleabag like looks at the camera or talks to it, then eventually starts hearing what she says, is just a fascinating way to keep that going. And then the way this show ends, and like this is going to be the last Fleabag for a very long time. She says the last season could change, but for a while anyway. And having the camera not follow Fleabag as she walks away, and having Fleabag like wave from afar, like it's really unique
Mhm.
way to communicate like the viewer's relationship with what they're watching, while
Yeah.
also communicating the protagonist's view of everything that we're watching happen. It's just really cool.
It's I agree. I think it's really cool, and that's actually highlighted really well in I think it was episode 3 when she goes to visit the therapist or the counselor that the father pays
Fiona
for a
Shaw,
session.
Killing Eve.
Yes, awesome. But when she asks like, "Oh, do you have any friends that you talk to?" and she says no at first, and then like later on she comes back to it, is like, "Oh, actually no, I do have friends I talk to," and then she like she like looks over at the camera. She might even give it a wink, and it's like, oh, she's like nodding to you as like these are the friends she's developed for herself
Hmm.
to like cope with this. And obviously it relates back to like her guilt and her trauma and her feelings around what happened with Boo
Hmm.
prior, and kind of what is kicking off her journey in these 2 seasons and what she's ultimately dealing with. But it's just really smart and really well done, and it's such a delight to get through. I almost feel like a bit cheated that there's only 12 episodes in total, because this is a show I would like to spend a lot more time in.
That's British shows for you, especially British comedies. They're usually tight. But I mean the dialogue too, because Phoebe Waller-Bridge
Hmm.
is, I feels like a writer first, even though she's a awesome performer. The dialogue is very realistic, and it's like none of the jokes ever feel forced. Like everything just feels so natural throughout time, and you really understand the characters, and all their lines feel like they would be coming from, who they're coming from. Everything
Hmm.
feels right, and even someone like Claire's husband, who is definitely more of a high energy dick as far as dicks go, um, it lands well. And I mean, season two for me, like immediately just grabbed my eye because the first episode, that like classic dinner gone wrong scene with the
Yeah.
family, everyone's just on edge the whole time, and every line has so much under the
Context.
surface,
Yep.
it's great. And actually, they introduce the priest in such a really smart way, and having, I think Andrew Scott's really good in the role, but having him have his own arc in the season, and then the way it
Yep.
ends, which we probably didn't expect it to end that way.
Hmm.
Um, it's really lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think like like the subtle things that they did really well in season 2 that I think actually elevated the show from season 1. So while Waller Bridge has those moments where she looks at the camera and she like gives a wink or adds a comment, and that kind of adds a lot of context about her character. When Andrew starts to like notice that, and that adds a whole nother element to like what Fleabag is going through, what she's experiencing, her different feelings around it. It's really like the idea of like being seen by somebody, and probably for the first time in Fleabag's life, because while she's kind of like the linchpin of her family, and you see that in the episode where, I think it's the final episode where like the father and the godmother are getting married,
Mhm.
and she's kind of the one holding everything together in a lot of ways. She's also the one that people just see as like the damaged one. It's the one who is always making a scene, always making things about her. When in a lot of ways,
No more
it's
miscarriages today.
right, exactly. And in a lot of ways, she developed that tendency because of the tragedy in her family with her mom dying. And it's just such a layered show in so many ways, and uh, you know, it it makes you really think about family relationships in, I think, ways that other shows don't necessarily always get to. And I mean, if you weren't already buying in on Phoebe Waller Bridge, you really need to start because I have a feeling we're going to be talking about her for a really long time.
Yeah, for sure. Also, shout out Andrew Scott, who I swear looks like Shea Wiggum's younger brother.
It's a good call. It's a good
Um,
call.
I actually didn't realize he was Moriarty on Sherlock. That's where
Yeah,
he got famous. Also, he's an openly gay actor playing a non-gay character. It can be done. Normalize that
interesting.
some more. Also, the best, I think my favorite bit in the whole season, which only happens twice, I think, was the whole thing where the painting falls down when God's referenced or God's
Yeah.
on the mind. It's hilarious. I like audibly laughed aloud both times.
Yeah, were there any like moments or scenes that really stood out to you from either season?
um, the whole dinner episode for sure.
Yeah.
I actually really liked the episode at Claire's work, like work
Mhm.
party, work event thing with the awards, and then
And
having
the
that scene afterwards
stolen.
at the bar with the winner
Yes.
um, was really good. I mean, heck, the statue, the
Yes.
voluptuous statue that gets stolen and returned and regifted and all of that is another good bit, and the kind of where that statue goes or who has it kind of represents, I think, the Fleabag's status at the time.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, the show always grabs your attention because at any given point, if you look away, you could miss a look at the camera, you know, and
Mhm.
like then you miss the punch of the scene, so you have to pay attention the whole time.
Yeah. When I think about the show, probably the episode that comes to mind most is actually from season one, which is the silent retreat that they go to. And I just found that episode so funny and just so like I don't know, there's so many moments from it I remember. Like when she sneaks up on the guy screaming at the female mannequin, like just hilarious. Like I don't know the whole thing. But
I
then the
definitely turned my
conversation.
TV down when like "slut" was being yelled like 50 times in like a 10-minute period.
Hilarious. And then afterwards, the conversation she has with the loan manager is just so like
Right.
I don't know, it's so intimate, but also like opens your eyes about who he is, and like it makes his like decisions and what he like goes and what he's going through feel so real. It's just like I feel like that embodies what the show does really well, on a great level. I also just that final episode where they're at the father and godmother's house, and Claire begs the husband to leave her, and just everything going on there. This what was it, like oboe or whatever, the
It was a
weird,
bassoon,
the bassoon. Yeah.
the
His
biggest wind instrument.
that song was called "Where's Claire?" Just like
Where's
so
Claire?
many so many different funny things. The priest giving that speech, love, it's terrible.
Yeah,
It's terrible. It's so funny. Yeah, delight of a show. So, um, too bad there's not gonna be more, but definitely check it out on Amazon.